Hey guys, Nikki Harden, nutrition and detox expert and the formulator of 21 Cleanse. And then some of you know me through my psychic and mediumship readings and spiritual transformational coaching. So how you know me through the lens, it's all intertwined. And today I'm here to talk to you about emotional eating. So I'm not sure that I've met one person on the planet that hasn't at one time experienced or struggled with emotional eating. And I really want to talk about it today because I feel like emotional eating gets a really bad rap. And my view of emotional eating is very different than what most people think. Imagine that. I tend to look at the world through a very different lens than what most people do. So typically most people and media and society and one-on-one people, how they are with themselves, people tend to be very critical and judgmental of emotional eating. So yes, let's talk about it. Emotional eating means that you are eating to suppress emotions, to numb emotions, or to comfort yourself, right? So we see this when there's stress, people will eat. If something's going on and they just are having a down day, they want to eat, they want comfort, or maybe they don't want to deal with it and so they check out, right? Then we have alcohol and all of this. And none of it's bad. The way that I look at this is through a completely different lens. I think that this is the richness, and that actually the emotional eating and going into it, not that eating part of it, but into the emotional side of it, that is actually your path and your ticket to freedom. Okay, so yes, 97%, maybe 99% of the population is going to tell you like, oh, it's a bad thing. Media is going to tell you that this emotional eating is like really avoiding the true problems underneath the surface, da 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 da. So maybe in the past, you looked at it as a way to criticize yourself or to stuff parts of yourself that you didn't want to deal with, right? Because those emotions are uncomfortable. But here's what I know. 80% of the choices that you're making on a day-to-day basis are driven by your emotions. So guess what? My opinion is roll up your sleeves and get down and dirty with your emotional life so you can actually start to create the changes inside of yourself so you can change your outer reality. So it's all about really embracing your emotions, right? So I go back to, I think emotional eating is a fucking fantastic thing. Oh my God, I just used the F word, but I'm gonna upload it anyways. I don't even care because I say the F word, I'm a human. So I think that your emotions are the path to freedom, and emotional eating is amazing. So here's the trick. It's amazing when you take that divine pause, when you go into the choice that you know isn't really in alignment with the choice that's best for you, and that at a soul level, at a spiritual level, that's the highest choice you could be making for yourself and your body at that time. So you have an experience, you reach for the alcohol. You're reaching for the Ben and Jerry's. Something inside of you, and it could be habit, right? It could just be perpetual. At any rate, we're not going to dive into that perpetualness. What we're going to talk about today is how to change the experience and how to actually utilize your emotions so that they take you where in the direction that you want to go rather than away from where it is you want to go, right? So here's what I suggest, okay? Now you have an emotional trigger, something in you. Maybe you come home, you're stressed. Maybe you come home, you're tired. Maybe you're at the office and something's happened and you're angry. Maybe you got in a fight with a friend or your partner, whatever it is. Something in you has gotten triggered and you want to reach for the candy bar, for the coffee, for the wine, for whatever that comfort food, mac and cheese is that really makes you feel better and possibly even forget about what's happening. So what you do is you go to reach for whatever it is, and rather than grabbing it, you stop yourself and you take what I like to call a divine pause. And before you indulge, you just take a deep breath and you just let it out. And there you are sitting with that emotional experience inside of yourself. You could still have whatever it is that you're thinking you want to indulge in, but you've taken that moment to create space. And in that moment, you can ask yourself, why am I reaching for this? What is it that I'm hoping to get from this that I actually need, like deep in my heart or in my consciousness or in my cells? What is it? What is the story? You can first ask yourself, what's the emotion that I'm experiencing right now? Why am I reaching for this? And then what is the story that I'm telling myself as it relates to the emotion that I'm having that's reaching for my craving? So you're taking that moment and you're just trying to create, first you have the pause, then you create the awareness, and you start to understand, why is it that I'm reaching for this? And just giving yourself that space is the first step to really empowering yourself to create change, if that's what you want. But you've got to get clear in your heart that that's actually what you want. You want to actually create the change, okay? So you've created this space. Then you've empowered yourself because you've actually asked yourself, why am I reaching for this? What is it I'm feeling? What is it, the story I'm telling myself? And then also figure out, like, what's just happened in my 3D world, out in the world, that is triggering this experience inside of myself. So when you do that, there might be an airplane there, just work it in, because actually we're just helping you soar out of this whole blah, blah, blah consciousness that's keeping you from repeating behaviors that you don't want. So you've taken that space, right? And you've just really empowered yourself to create a new way of being if you want. Just that is so powerful. And when you just dive into that, you're gonna find like this vast awareness, like this incredible pool of information that is sitting there in your consciousness that you probably don't even know. Like if you just unravel it and keep unraveling and keep unraveling, you will become so aware of like these conversations that are happening inside of yourself without you really knowing. It's like the layers underneath the layers of what's going on. So this is a lot of the work that I do with my clients, my one-on-one clients in our coaching, in our time when we're doing coaching, is we really start to understand what these emotions are that are keeping you from keeping you in patterns of behavior that keep you from realizing the results that you want, right? And as you identify them and you just bring them into light, immediately already you're shining a light on it, and it makes it less powerful. And the web starts to unfold and just kind of become less dense. And the more that you're able to dive into that, which again, this is the work that I do with my clients, where we really get into it and we understand what are the thoughts that are associated with those emotions, what are the other emotions that are associated with those emotions, what are the thought patterns, the interpretations of reality, the limiting beliefs. And so you start to unwind all of it and understand this whole web of complexity that's keeping you in those cycles of behavior. So it's really just a beautiful experience of what can happen when you just basically give yourself that pause. And then also, I've just found I work with coaches and, go into programs so I can have that mirror and that reflection in someone there that can help me see things inside of myself that I can't see because I've put up a blinder, right? And so in order for me to make the changes, I put what I call aces in the right places. So that's some of the stuff I do when we're coaching, and that's what these emotions can do, because then you understand them and then you can start to create new thoughts and new habits, and you make new choices that will create new neural pathways in your brain. Because up until that point, you've had this neural pathway that keeps getting like solidified and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's keeping you in like the cycles which are making you have the same thoughts, the same emotions, and choosing the same behaviors. So it's really a powerful experience. And it's also I see a lot of my detoxers, right, people on my cleanse programs, they also have incredible success in letting this go, right? And letting go of these emotional cravings. And here's why. First thing is, your emotions and your negative thoughts, destructive emotions and thoughts, they actually get lodged in your cells and your tissues with physical toxins. It's really quite a powerful experience because these things send out a vibration. And so that vibration has an energetic imprint on your cells and your tissues. So when you do the detox and you make these new choices, what happens is, like with those neural pathways, you're giving yourself like that self-love and making those choices and transcending that. And then as the physical toxins release, so too will the destructive mental and emotional toxins. It's really, really powerful. Not only that, what's perfect about the detox is it actually sets you up for this big change and this new experience, because it puts you in a very nurturing wellness and health and nutrition sort of regimen and protocol, for lack of better ways of saying it, where you get into patterns of making the right choices for you at the right time, nourishing your body at the right time, and rather than putting yourself off and your own self-care off, right? Because a lot of times people come to me because they haven't been taking care of themselves, not making good food choices, not doing, taking care of their fitness, just letting themselves be a doormat, not being self-honoring, all of these things. And we're able to stop it and to create a new experience in just one cleanse program. It's really incredible. And why? Because it's a system that sets you up for success. It tells you exactly what you can and shouldn't eat, exactly like what time you should do everything. It gives you the products that go in and help heal your cells and your tissues and bring down those cortisol and adrenaline hormones and repair your cells. So it's just got everything it needs that can really help you just flush out those negative emotions and end that destructive emotional eating pattern that you might be in. So that's what I got to say about emotional eating. Again, I don't look at it like it's a bad thing. I look at emotional eating as the path to empowerment, transformation, and freedom. And not only that, but truly to positive results when you go at it in a really strong and healthy way. So that's what I've got to say. Feel free to leave a comment here, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be leaving more and more videos. And for those of you that are interested in understanding other ways, understanding more about my detox products or the coaching that I do, feel free to visit my website. It's nikkiharden.com. You can always leave us a note, and I always take care of my people. So hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for tuning in.